Yo, so this video came about. I don't remember who I was watching, but I was watching a video on YouTube and it was about John Mayer. And I saw a comment that it kind of boggles my mind. And it was something along the lines of, oh, John Mayer's not that good of a guitar player. All he does is just play the minor pentatonic. And it's like, there's a lot to unpack there. The first thing is that I feel like it's sort of a self-report, to be honest with you. It's kind of just showing how little you know about music or the guitar in general to even say something like that. For example, sure, like let's think of John Mayer's most popular tune, maybe Gravity or Slow Dancing in a Burning Room. It's firmly in the pentatonic. Uh, More so Slow Dancing in a Burning Room. It's mostly minor pentatonic. Both songs are. But you can say that with anything. Any music whatsoever, you can say that. It's pretty much a self-report saying, oh, I don't really know enough about music yet, so I'm just going to say the first thing this reminds me of, or the first thing that this is. And especially as guitar players, the first thing we learn is the pentatonic scale. We don't even learn the major scale first in most cases, which I don't really understand why. But as far as the pentatonic goes, that's like the very first thing we know. So, I mean, I guess it becomes really easy when you notice someone playing the pentatonic scale to say, ooh, I know what that is. It's the pentatonic scale. And and unfortunately for a lot of guitar players, the pentatonic scale is kind of where we stop learning. And I say we as in guitar players and guitarists in general, but I think that is where a lot of people start and where a lot of people stop, and which means that there's a lot of people that know the pentatonic scale well, which that's a different topic on its own. We'll get to it. But everyone plays the pentatonic. So when you see someone famous who's considered a great guitarist, in my opinion, one of the few living guitar heroes left that are still relevant. One of them is John Mayer. The second might be Mark Tremonti. But when you see them playing the pentatonic scale, like a new guitarist or a new person to music will just say, oh, that's just the pentatonic scale. It's not that big deal. He's not doing anything crazy. This guy, Carlos Santana, this guy, Slash, he's doing crazy stuff. He's the greatest guitarist of all time, Slash, because he can do all this stuff that I don't understand. And I feel like that's the key right there. It's because you understand the pentatonic, but you don't understand another guitarist and what they're doing. And it's like the better you get at guitar and the more you learn about music, you start to realize that music is simple. Music is very simple. And once you start breaking down artists in particular or styles of music, you start to notice the building blocks of music and how it works. And then you get surprised a little less when you hear a guitarist playing or any music whatsoever. It could be pop, heavy metal, rock, jazz. You get a little less so jazz. You get a little less surprised every time you learn a new concept and every time you learn a new song. You're just like, oh, this is why this is working. Oh, he's going from the one to the major third to the minor third. That's weird. He's stepping outside the key here. You start to understand music better. And I feel like criticism of, oh, this person only uses the pentatonic scale is just a self-report at your lack of knowledge, even if it's accurate, because you can boil down anyone's musicianship and guitar skills to, oh, this is just something. This is just that. This is just that. A good example of this is Eric Johnson. Eric Johnson's a fantastic guitar player, but if you've ever studied Eric Johnson, you know his style. He plays guitar like a pianist, He plays a guitar like it's a piano, and he uses something called spread triads a lot. And spread triads Trying to get a normal guitar player to learn about regular triads is like impossible. To be able to use them effectively, to be able to point them out, it's an easy concept once you know it, but getting people to learn it and know it, I think, is the most difficult part. So spread triads, you can boil down Eric's entire career in guitar playing prowess just down to spread triads. You could do that. The greatest tune ever written on a guitar is Cliffs of Dover, and it's just spread triads all across the neck of the guitar. Average people don't call that out because they don't understand it. If you're an average or trash guitarist, you won't point that out because you simply don't know what he's doing. It's magic to you, but it's not magic. Musicians aren't magicians. Music isn't magic. And I feel like the more you know about music, the less magical it becomes. But I feel like there's also another threshold where you know so much about music that it eventually becomes magic again. But I'm not talking about that. But yeah, it's interesting because it's like, how many people that make criticisms like this about guitarists even have attempted to write their own songs? For starters, writing your own song is just difficult. It's just difficult in general. There's just no way around it. Writing your own original song is difficult. Have you ever written a guitar solo before? Limiting yourself to just a pentatonic, and you could just say limiting, but limiting yourself to just a pentatonic scale is difficult. It is very difficult to make music with just a pentatonic scale, even just a solo. It's harder than most people think. And the reason why a new guitarist, for example, will think it's easy is because they've never actually tried to do it before. If making a good solo is as easy as just using the pentatonic scale, there would be great solos all over the place. And not all solos are great. There's a lot of okay solos. There's a lot of average solos. There's a lot of below average. But amazing guitar solos, they are so few and far between. Everyone knows the pentatonic scale. Not everyone can extract as much as it requires from the pentatonic scale to make it sound musical. I mean, you look on YouTube and you will see a million videos trying to explain to people how to make the pentatonic scale more musical. It's difficult. It's not an easy thing to do, but I mean, if you're an average or below average guitarist, you don't necessarily know that. You know what I mean? You don't know what you don't know. You don't know how deep the waters are until you've had to swim in them. You know what I mean? And if you're just like if you're not a musician at all or a guitarist, you'll never know. But if you're just now starting and you think you're hot shit because you could play Smoke on the Water, then, which is another problem in itself, because Smoke on the Water, yeah, everyone knows how to play it, everyone tries to play it, but I would argue and say most people don't know how to play it well, but that's a different conversation. But yeah, it's just, do you know the pentatonic scale as well as you think you do? You probably don't. Like, so many people have made careers off the pentatonic scale. People like Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix, every blues player ever. They made livings off the pentatonic scale. And even they would tell you that they haven't even scratched the surface of it. There's so much you can extract out of the pentatonic scale. And no, just adding the 2 more notes needed to make the major scale isn't gonna like turn you into some sort of guitar god either. It's all about making the most out of the tools that you have. That's why you don't need to be a guitar master in order to make good songs. Kurt Cobain wasn't a guitar master. He just explored deeply everything that he knew, and he used it to his highest capabilities. Not even the highest capabilities of the scales or the chords or whatever he knew. He used it to the highest of his ability. And I feel like that's the thing that makes guitar very hard, because once you start learning a lot of songs, you're like, oh man, I've played these notes in this exact order at this exact timing and tempo, but this person made a song out of it, and I never would have thought to make a song out of this. It's just one of those weird things, and that's what I mean, is the more you know about music, the less magical it becomes. But you get to a point where you know so much about music, and then everything after just seems so magical out here, because it's like, how did this person come up with this riff? How did this person come up with this harmony? How someone come up with this melody? I played this note sequence so many times and it never thought to play it in this way. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that. Music isn't magic, but it might as well be sometimes. But until you get to a certain point, the magic doesn't really come back. And that's all I'm saying. If you've ever tried to write a song before, if you've ever tried to write your own solo, you know what I'm talking about. But there's a lot of people on the internet, and you can never verify if they're actually a guitar player, how good they are at guitar. Anyone can be a self-proclaimed expert at anything. So that's just my 2 cents for today. Yeah, like, subscribe. There will be another video and another rant soon. So, yeah, let me know how you get on, yeah? See you in the next one. Bye.